Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. If you have a suggestion for a 1-minute clip that you would like me to include as a short or a TikTok video, email me through the website. That would be great. And by the way, if you ever do want to contact me, that's the main way. If you comment below, I may not see it. Let's watch.
Tell me. Ooh, I love.
So sometimes I wonder what the producers or the editors think about these couples, because the way they edit it sometimes with the musical cues, sometimes I think they think something very different than what I think what a lot of people think about these cast members. And with Angela, that question has been there before. I've been like, do the TV show people know what Angela is doing? Are they listening to the commentary online about her? I've always assumed that they do know, and there must be some statistic that they follow that says, look, even though so many people absolutely hate Angela and might even not watch the show because of Angela, they get enough viewership in spite of that because of Angela to offset all that. Because, the vast majority of people who watch these shows, they don't comment online at all. The vast majority of people who watch I don't know if that's true, but I think that's true. It's, seems likely that the vast majority of people who watch this show, they don't know about any of the YouTube channels to talk about 90 Day Fiancé. They don't go to any of the forums or, they don't read the articles. They just watch the show. And so I wonder if the statistics show that the vast majority of people tune in specifically because Angela is on the show, Ed as well. You just have to figure that at least they believe that to be true, because they have a whole slew of cast members to choose from to repeat over different seasons, and they only choose certain couples. Like with Jovi and Yara, when they were involved in future seasons, I remember thinking like, them? Especially by the end of the season, there didn't seem to be that much there. I didn't really understand that. I still don't. But why would I? I'm not a TV marketer, and I'm also not privy to the data that they have. They have all sorts of data they probably know. And so the other question I have is to that audience and to the producer, because the people of the show, they're trying to appeal to that audience. Or are they actively trying to create a provocation for the audience so that they are yelling at the TV screen and the TV show is presenting a loathful individual to provoke emotion so that people continue to watch? Because I think that's a huge part of the show, honestly. And that would make sense, right? If you're just watching a show where everything's fun and optimistic and healthy and you don't have any strong emotion, you're just like, oh, that's nice. You might even feel bad about your own life if it's not going so well, right? So if we provoke emotion, then it causes people to get involved, and we understand that from internet clicking activity, right? If you just post things on Twitter that are sensible and scientifically based, you're not going to provoke people's emotions because it's just regular stuff. But if you say very provocative things, like Jewish space lasers are going to kill us and whatever, then you get, or the earth is flat, you get people to engage regardless of how they feel about it. And then that makes more money, and then the echo chamber starts to change the minds of the individuals entering into those places. But anyway, so I wonder what the show, but the show's never been really overt about how they present Angela. On one hand, I was wondering, maybe they're presenting Angela knowing that she doesn't know that she's a problematic person, if not abusive. And they're willing to say, hey, if Angela wants to hang herself on TV for our benefit, then she can do that. Or if the show actually thinks she is the hero, which would be hard to believe, but I don't know. But then when I watch this, where they are playing this triumphant music as she is triumphantly standing in this triumphant dress, that the producers and the editors actually believe her to be the hero, that her standing up to Michael is this heroic American thing. Or that they don't believe that to be true, but they think some of the audience is true. Or they're doing this because they know when we watch this and we see the elevation, we're like, no. And then I don't know. I would imagine it's the latter, because TV people, again, they're successful at TV for a reason, so they probably know all those things, right? But I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. Let's rewind.
Oh, I love.
I don't want to overdo it because I want him to see the.
You know, it sounds like she is meeting up with him, so I'm worried about this. But what do you think? I don't even know if I have an understanding of what the audience thinks about her, honestly, because I try to avoid those areas because they often will spoil things. Because, anyway, so what do you think about that topic? What does the show believe? What are they trying to propose?
The hard work I've done, and then again, I don't want him to see too much to make him want it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
a little, so it's not over and under.
Oh my God, perfect.
Wait, look at the back though.
Okay.
If she spent as much time as she spent on her dress and thinking about trying to manipulate him into being sexually attracted to her, but not too sexually attracted to her, if she spent as much time on that as, I wonder why I am the way that I am, why I do these things, why do I lie, why am I in denial of my own behavior, why do I abuse, why am I so violent with my loved ones? Because I'm just going to take a guess and say that Michael is not the first or last person that she has done this to.
But this is what I got to do. I'm going to let him talk. It's time to see which way he wants to go because I've done showed him my way.
You're going to let him talk? Literally for the first time this entire season. On the phone, you didn't let him talk. In person, you didn't let him talk. I mean, that's interesting to think about. He's literally not been allowed to say anything in response to all of, yeah.
I am worried seeing Michael again because it won't take much for him to trigger my temper.
Yeah, I don't, it's just so weird because it's such a foreign way of thinking, right? But I don't know why it sort of takes me by surprise when she says things like that. But of course, it's totally consistent with who she is and everything she does. She's saying that it'll be his fault if I abuse him. And it always has been his fault. That's the abusive justification. That's how they see it, the world. Don't make me mad because you know what's going to happen if I get mad. I mean, wow.
I've never been so angry in my life. She didn't tell me she's coming to Nigeria. She stormed my house, my family house, on notice, and also broke my car bonnet bumper and plate. I couldn't sleep all through the night. I was thinking about everything. I'm shocked and dumbfounded.
Yeah, well, that's a detail that I wonder what that means. He's saying he came to my family house. Does that mean that he lives with family? And not only was she banging on his door, but also his family's door. And of course, the neighbors as well, because I think there were homes right nearby. Yeah, I mean, just imagine what he would feel like. And honestly, I kind of am upset at the show for not interviewing him more. They should be, because they have the footage. They interview these people a lot, and I'm guessing 99% of the footage in the interviews is cut out. So it's all been Angela's perspective in Angela's interviews. They could have this whole time been sprinkling in him talking about how it felt for him. And so I don't know. I don't want to throw this out there, but I don't believe this to be true, but who knows? It's a possibility that the show is run by people like Angela who are massively racist, or at least have those elements, and believe that people from other countries are lesser. And, there is some evidence of that to some extent because I've heard, I don't know if it's true, and I think there are a fair amount of rumors about this show that at least don't have a lot of data, but I've heard from people saying that they don't pay the non-Americans, they'll pay the Americans. I think as part of the reality that the non-Americans might benefit in other ways such that they don't have to pay them, right? But it's not a good look, right? It's so unfair, right? It's like when, it's like saying, well, okay, I'm going to hire a bunch of employees. It's essentially what it is, right? You're hiring a bunch of employees, and you know that some of your employees are so desperate that they'll work for the ability just to be inside because they don't even have a home. And, in your workplace, they can use the bathroom and the shower or something. You're just like, well, we'll exploit that and not even pay them when it's not even that much of a big, because, it's a TV show. They probably have a lot of money. And I don't even know if it's true that they don't pay them. But anyway, so it just makes you wonder if the show it's run by people, or certain storylines are run by people that are in line with the perspective of some of these individuals. And they do look down and dehumanize these other individuals. Because when I think about if someone else with a different perspective was running the show, they would have wanted Michael's perspective to be sprinkled in there, because that's actually kind of dramatic, right? To have, like last episode when they show up at the house, they could have gone to an interview with Michael and been like, what was going through your mind? And he'd be like, oh, I mean, I heard them banging on the door and I didn't know. And then you jump to that. And then, what were you thinking when she was tearing apart your car? And he would say, oh, I don't know. It was really scary. That's pretty dramatic. There's a lot of emotion there. There's a lot of story to tell there. And they have not presented us any of that. Now, maybe there's some bigger reason that's more empathetic to him that I'm not realizing, but it's just something to think about. But anyway, think about what that would be like for him to have that happen, that you can see the emotion. And we saw it when she was there, that he was crying, and I think they cut a fair amount of that out. She's ridiculing him. So yeah, I mean, it's just overwhelming experience. Like, oh my God, she's here, what?
It's crazy. Angela flew thousands of miles down to Nigeria, all because of anger. She came here to prove a point. At this moment, the only point she's proving is that our marriage is over.
It's actually kind of good that they're in a public place, because there are witnesses and she is maybe a little less likely to get violent. I don't know. Who knows? She's drinking, though, which isn't a good sign.
Can I get a waitress, please?
Hello, good evening. What do you like to drink?
Can I get 3 shots of vodka and 1 Heineken, please?
All right, no problem.
You gotta talk, because you know what you did.
Let me tell you.
I mean, every time, it's like, what do I expect to have happen? Just, as it's happening, I'm like, what? And then, of course, that's what's happening. What did I expect to happen? She says, you have to talk, you know what you did. What? Oh my God.
You don't admit you're wrong.
You started it.
I started it? Do you think what you've done is acceptable?
Yeah, and she said she let him talk. I don't know why I thought that would actually happen. In my head, so that's interesting. Why do I have any other expectation? Why do I do that to myself? Why do I think, okay, he's going to sit down, he's going to talk, and maybe it'll be different? I guess it's just hope that I have. Hope. Why do I have hope?
Text messages, oh, you're in pain, laugh out loud. Is that funny to you? You know the difference between you and I, Michael? I have a heart. I'm a mean bitch. I'll fight in a goddamn minute.
There's so many disgusting things about this. I mean, it is utterly disgusting. It was disgusting before. It's disgusting now. It'll continue to be disgusting. Just the whole thing. And I really just hope that Michael feels like he has the support of others in his life and maybe the world. I really hope that Michael is just, in this moment, is just like, here she goes, not on me. This has nothing to do with me. She has a problem. God knows what's going on there. I'm not going to take this personally. This is pretty shocking, but par for the course, and I'm not going to internalize. I just really hope for him he doesn't take this personally, because it has nothing to do with him. It's nothing to do with him or what he's done or what he hasn't done. It's just her. Everything is her.
You have no heart, man.
Have a seat.
If you think you won't keep that Instagram, you gotta.
Abusive people will want to intimidate. They will use physical indications of escalation to control and intimidate. They might stand over you. They might bang against something because the implication is I'm escalating, especially when you're involved with someone for a long time. They will have certain cues to the victim of, you better turn this around, you better comply, you better do what I want you to do. And and really everyone does this, particularly parents, right? So totally the best parents in the world do this to their kids. They will have indicators in the tone of their voice or other indicators to help a child understand that, look, what you're doing is this bad, right? Like if a kid is about to eat another cookie when they're not supposed to, right? You're not going to flip out. You're going to be like, oh no, remember. So there's a way of reacting. Whereas if a kid is running out into the street, you're not going to be like, oh no, right? You're just going to flip because we evolved to some extent to react that way, to signal. And also I think we evolved as children to have instincts to pick up on those intensities, because it's important that parents and children understand each other along those lines, because you don't want the kid running out into the street. You also don't want a kid to be super jumpy every time you have any kind of feedback, because if it's just light feedback, you want them to understand it that way. Anyway, so abusive people will also do that because it's along those lines, but they will do it in an abusive, intimidating, controlling manner.
Wrong bitch, man.
Let's discuss, okay? You've said all what you have to say. Let me talk.
I ain't said nothing I wanted to say. That's just a goddamn appetizer, mother.
I mean, okay. Let's just watch it and it'll end soon.
Angela said she want me to talk to her, but Angela doesn't listen. It's always about her, make her happy and do things in her own way, which is not supposed to be so. I'm her husband, for crying out loud. It's not one-sided.
You gonna take that bitch down?
And then you wonder Michael's history, why he has put up with it up until this point. Like, what's going on with him? He's not to blame, of course, but I wonder if he has susceptibility to seeing this as normal, as seeing this as justified or something. Because the way he complains, now maybe this time is different, but the way historically he complains about this, he's like, oh, Angela, I need her to be, he seems to be framing it like she's a passionate person who makes things about her sometimes, instead of seeing it the way that at least the audience sees it, or at least the way I see it.
Michael, I'm getting on that plane.
Have a seat, let's discuss. Come on, you've said what you want to say. We don't talk.
Just pull up your goddamn phone.
For what?
So I can look at it. I'm your wife. Let me see it. Put that.
Yikes. So she's going to that place where your phone is my phone, and I'm going to be able to do whatever I want to with it. Okay, so I'm going to prepare for the worst, right? So I don't get surprised and upset. So I think she's potentially going to get into a physical altercation with him, because that would be unheard of, to try to take his phone, and then she'll get his phone and she'll throw it into the street and she'll hit him. I don't want that to happen, but I'm going to prepare for the worst emotionally.
That phone in my purse and
for
we'll
what?
talk. You got bitches in your phone. You're
No
scared.
bitches, stop it.
Let me see. I want to see everything. Your DMs and Instagram.
Finger in the face, nose to nose, intimidation, give me your stuff. I'm gonna catch, like, it's all, we could use this as a educational tool. I don't know if she's abusive. We'd have to ask the two of them how he's reacting. Kind of depends on things. I mean, it's not hard to look at this and say that it is abusive, but the nuances aren't available to me because I can't assess them. But we can use this as a educational tool of identifying abusive behavior, so that when it happens to you, you're seeing it, or even if you're doing it, you can know what that is. Getting in someone's face, standing over someone, finger in the face.
Wait,
Can I see your phone? No, let's stop. Can I see your phone, please?
It's my privacy.
So is that a no?
I said no. It's my property. I don't want to give her. And after last night's incident, I'm worried she's gonna slam it on the floor.
Right. His prediction was the same as mine. Of course, she'll use this as a justification for whatever she's about to do. It's like, well, clearly he's shady.
The whole phone.
We are not here for that. I will definitely show you, but not here.
Then give me the phone, put it in my pocketbook. You see how simple? Are you gonna hold a pocketbook all night about your phone, really?
Leave it. Just leave me
Put
like
the
this.
goddamn purse up
Leave
there.
it.
Look at the hand on this mother purse.
What is it? Leave it.
You're so
Leave
scared.
It. Leave it.
Yeah, I mean, he's really doing everything he can. He's like, okay, fine, you can have my phone, but we'll talk about it later. Let's talk first, because I think he still thinks that if he can establish that, because he's been down this road so many times, that they have a good relationship, because he knows that he can eventually get her to calm down, and then she'll be less likely to smash his phone into the ground.
Come on, it don't take a genius. Nobody's protected their phone unless you got something to hide, especially from their wife. I'm tired. Like, this ain't a game.
I am not here to fight. I'm here to make peace. Okay?
Take your phone.
I don't like it.
I don't give a what
Don't
you
like
like.
it. Okay, this is bad.
Yeah, thank you. Gave my goddamn all. I am real for you. You're fake to me, man. That's heart breaking. I'm gone.
I mean, if you wrote a comedy sketch about an abusive person, or a parody of a reality TV show for that matter, and you wrote this scene, you'd be like, come on, that's ridiculous. She, this whole season, has not allowed him to say a single word. I mean, just think about that. That as soon as he has some power, just the tiniest bit of power to be able to just say something, she escalates, stands up, gets in his face, finger in the face, give me your phone, name calling, and control, and hang up on him and walk away. Like, just think about that. That he's, this whole season, right? Am I not mistaken? We're on episode what? I don't know, 10 or 8 or something. Whole season, she's never allowed him to say anything. And he's done nothing wrong. I mean, I'm laughing at the absurdity. He's done nothing wrong, and she's abused him the whole time and not allowed him to say a single thing, and she's the one cheating on him.
Nah, bitch.
Come here. Come.
I'm getting on my plane. Nope, you.
Yeah. To some extent, I'm like, okay, maybe now Michael will see it for what it is. Or there won't be a choice, because she'll end it, and then Michael can actually find someone who doesn't treat him like this.
You have hurt me. What I've been through with this man, is he worth it anymore? I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of being like I got.
Right? Is it not comical? And then I wonder, do the producers know that? And they're like, let's really hang this woman out to dry and show her in all of her ridiculousness? I mean, or did they edit it to make it look that way, which is a possibility? Or do they think legitimately she has all these reasons to be this way? I mean, I'd love to know. And of course, the producers would never tell me, because that would ruin things, because I would potentially tell other people. But I would love to know the answer to that question, just out of curiosity. Like, what are the producers thinking there? Because of course, they're thinking, okay, we're trying to get ratings, so what is their motive here? Are they on her side? Do they think she's a joke? Did they edit it to make it look like even more like she's a joke? I don't know.
I not show my emotion.
And I'll repeat what I say every time. I do care about her, and I do wish her well. I'm not just saying that. I do see a path forward for her that is available. Presumably she knows about therapy. It's pretty obvious this is one of those situations for her individually. Maybe she's in it. I don't think she is. She hasn't indicated it anyway. There's a path forward where she could heal, where she could get some self-awareness, where she could learn how she's shooting herself in the foot. Everyone does that to some extent. And that hurt, real feeling on the inside of her that exists might have a way of being healed, might have a way of actually being understood and validated, and then she can actually have relationships that she deserves. So, I do wish that for her 100%. But when you just see the unrelenting nature of it, and the ridiculousness of it, and the abuse of it, and the lack of fairness, and the lack of self-awareness, I mean, does she not see herself? That she shows up to talk and then proceeds to not let him talk literally the entire time? I mean, we've never seen that sort of exaggerated lopsidedness on the show in my experience anyway. So yeah, anyway. All right, well, that does it for that episode, everyone. Take care of yourself, please. Really, detoxify because you deserve it. You really, really do.